In a previous video, we discussed how to pay off debt using the snowball method. With the debt snowball method, your debt is reduced by taking your lowest balance, regardless of interest rate, and paying it off in full, then taking that payment and adding it to the next lowest balance. For example, let's say that your lowest debt is a credit card that has a $5,000 balance, with a minimum payment of $125. You also have an auto loan with a $10,000 balance, with a minimum payment of $400. Beginning with the debt that has the lowest account balance, which is the credit card, you would pay it off in full. You would then take the $125 that was being made toward the credit card each month and add it to the next lowest balance, which is the auto loan. As mentioned, the existing auto loan payment is $400. With the additional $125 being added to the auto loan, the total monthly payment would now be $525. The main purpose of paying off debt that has the lowest balance first is to give yourself a win for the short term and to break the psychological barrier. Short wins give you confidence, and you're more likely to continue with the plan. If you attempt to pay off debt beginning with the largest balance, there is no win for the short term, and there is a good chance that you will lose interest and fold due to lack of progress. The snowball debt reduction method is great, but it may not be the best for those individuals who want to pay off debt in a faster manner. If you prefer to pay off debt at a faster rate and have the discipline to do so, then the solution is known as the Avalanche method. The Avalanche method is a way to get rid of your debt load by paying off the debt that has the highest interest rate first. When compared with other debt reduction approaches, the Avalanche method has the capacity to save you the most money by reducing interest expenses. If you are interested in learning more, then stick around and watch the video to the end, so that you understand the benefits of using the Avalanche strategy. We will use an example of how the Avalanche strategy works. Let's assume that you have the following debts that show the balance, minimum monthly payment, and interest for each category sorted by highest interest rate, which is as follows. A credit card with a $3,000 balance and a payment of $100, at an interest rate of 16%. A personal loan with a balance of $8,000 and a payment of $250, at an interest rate of 9.5%. A student loan with a balance of $12,000 and a payment of $400, at an interest rate of 5.8%. An auto loan with a balance of $10,000 and a payment of $350, at an interest rate of 5.2%. The balance for all debts total $33,000. The minimum monthly payments across all debt accounts is $1,100. The average interest for all debts listed is 9.125%. Take note that the interest rates for all debt categories listed are on par with the national averages. Now that all debt accounts are listed in order, with the highest interest rate first, the debt reduction can begin, starting with the credit card. The minimum payment for the credit card is $100, and once it is paid in full, that minimum payment will be transferred to the next highest interest rate account, which is the personal loan. The minimum monthly payment for the personal loan was $250, but with the credit card payment being transferred, it is now $350. The Avalanche is in the early stages, and continuing with the scenario, once the personal loan is paid in full, that minimum payment will be transferred to the next highest interest rate account, which is the student loan. The minimum monthly payment for the student loan was $400, but with the personal loan payment being transferred, it is now $750. The Avalanche is more than halfway through, and continuing with the scenario, once the student loan is paid in full, that minimum payment will be transferred to the last and next highest interest rate account, which is the auto loan. The minimum monthly payment for the auto loan was $350, but with the student loan payment being transferred, it is now $1,100. The Avalanche is nearing the end, and continuing with the scenario, once the auto loan is paid in full, there will be nowhere for the payment to be transferred, because there is no more debt. Congratulations, your debts have been paid in full using the Avalanche debt reduction method. Meet the Johnsons. The Johnsons are a mixed family. The parents adopted the children at a young age, and all are happy to be part of the family. Tom is the father, and works at the Veterans Affairs as a veteran service representative. Tiffany is the mother and a homemaker. Jada is the daughter, and a junior in high school. Abdul is the son, and is also a junior in high school. The parents are incredibly involved with their children, and like them to be included in all aspects of the family's decisions. In recent, the family realized that the amount of debt that they had incurred was preventing them from living the life that they felt they deserved. They would like to take more vacations, and have the money to actually enjoy them, instead of holding back due to financial constraints. Through research, the family scoured the internet looking for the quickest way to become debt-free. Upon their research, they came across the debt snowball method, but quickly realized that it was not for them, because it was going to take longer to purge the debts than they wanted. Shortly after, they found another debt reduction strategy, called the Avalanche. They realized that the Avalanche method was their best option to rid their debt quickly, because when compared with other debt reduction approaches, the Avalanche method had the capacity to save them the most money, by reducing interest charges. They completed their research and began gathering their most recent statements, to get a complete financial picture. When all resources were gathered, they followed the structure of the Avalanche method, by organizing the debt from the highest interest rate to the lowest, and the result was as follows. A credit card with a $5,000 balance and a minimum payment of $140, at an interest rate of 16%. A personal loan with a balance of $5,000 and a $120 payment, at an interest rate of 9.5%. A student loan with a balance of $15,000 and a $325 payment, at an interest rate of 5.0%. An auto loan with a balance of $20,000 and a $400 payment, at an interest rate of 5.2%. The balance for all debts totaled $45,000. The minimum monthly payments across all debt accounts was $985. The average interest for all debts listed was 9.125%. Now that all debt accounts are listed in order, with the highest interest rate first, the debt reduction can begin, starting with the credit card. The minimum payment for the credit card is $140, and the family was shocked to learn that the credit card balance would be paid in full by October 2024. They knew that once the credit card was paid in full, that the minimum payment would be transferred to the next highest interest rate account, which is the personal loan. The minimum monthly payment for the personal loan is $120, but with the credit card payment being transferred it is now $260. The family really began getting excited when the plan showed that just 2 months after the credit card balance was paid in full, that the personal loan would also be eliminated by December 2024. They knew that once the personal loan was paid in full, that the minimum payment would be transferred to the next highest interest rate account, which is the student loan. The minimum monthly payment for the student loan is $325, but with the personal loan payment being transferred, it is now $585. The planning for the Avalanche method is more than halfway through. They were delighted to see that the student loan would be paid in full by February 2025. That was only 2 months after the student loan was paid in full. They were aware that the minimum payment would be transferred to the last and next highest interest rate account, which is the auto loan. The minimum monthly payment for the auto loan is $400, but with the student loan payment being transferred, it is now $985. The Avalanche planning is nearing the end, and continuing onward, they were thrilled to see that the auto loan would be paid in full by June 2025, which is just 4 months after the student loan was paid off. There will be nowhere for the payment to be transferred, because all their debt will be paid in full. The family were extremely happy that they had put forth the effort to come up with a plan, and the results showed it would take them 4 years and 8 months for them to completely rid their debt. Now, all they had to do was execute the plan without adding to their existing debt. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and select the notification bell so that you receive the content that will build your financial muscle.